Woodrow Wilson. Key achievements and events as the 28th President of the United States. 1. Federal Reserve Act. President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into law in 1913, establishing the Federal Reserve System to regulate the nation's monetary policy, supervise banks, and stabilize the financial system. 2. Underwood Tariff Act. Wilson supported the passage of the Underwood Tariff Act in 1913, which significantly reduced tariff rates and implemented a federal income tax, making the tax system more progressive and promoting economic fairness. 3. Clayton Antitrust Act. Wilson signed the Clayton Antitrust Act into law in 1914, strengthening antitrust regulations and prohibiting practices that restricted competition, such as price discrimination and interlocking directorates, to promote fair competition and protect consumers. 4. Federal Trade Commission. Wilson established the Federal Trade Commission (FTC) in 1914, tasked with enforcing antitrust laws and preventing unfair business practices, such as false advertising and deceptive trade practices, to protect consumers and promote market competition. 5. Panama Canal completion. Wilson oversaw the completion of the Panama Canal in 1914, a monumental engineering achievement that connected the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, facilitating international trade and maritime transportation. 6. World War I. Wilson navigated the nation through World War I, initially maintaining a policy of neutrality, but eventually leading the United States into the conflict in 1917. Following the sinking of the Lusitania, and Germany's resumption of unrestricted submarine warfare. 7. 14 points. In 1918, Wilson outlined his vision for peace in his 14 points speech, which included principles such as self-determination for nations, free trade, disarmament, and the establishment of a League of Nations, to promote collective security and prevent future conflicts. 8. Treaty of Versailles. Wilson played a key role in negotiating the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, which officially ended World War I and established the League of Nations. However, the treaty faced opposition in the United States Senate, leading to the country's refusal to ratify it. 9. Women's suffrage. Wilson supported the women's suffrage movement, and advocated for the passage of the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote when it was ratified in 1920, expanding democracy and political participation in the United States. 10. League of Nations. Wilson championed the establishment of the League of Nations, an international organization aimed at promoting peace and cooperation among nations. But the United States ultimately did not join due to opposition in the Senate, limiting the League's effectiveness.